Here, I have the latest Cinewhip from GEPRC, the Cinelog30 V2. One of my go-to drones that helped me start New England drone tours was GEPRC's Cinelog30 V2. There are a couple different Cinewhip sizes that GEPRC offers in the Cinelog series, ranging from 2 inches to 3.5 inches. The 2-inch one is good for carrying a naked GoPro, flying slower, and hitting tight gaps, while the 3.5 inch is going to be much faster, a little more acrobatic, and just better for faster fly-throughs. The 3-inch that I have here, I think is going to be a really nice hybrid between the two. Typically, when I'm filming my fly-through work, I use a custom-built drone on the QAV 2.5 inch frame. Now, if you look at these two side by side, we have the QAV right here, and then the new Cinelog30 V2 right here. They're actually about the same size. The Cinelog is a little bit longer, but width-wise, it's almost identical. The Cinelog also has bigger props, and that's probably gonna make it a little bit faster. Looking at the weight of this thing, just dry weight, no battery, no GoPro or anything, you're looking at 185 grams. That's with an O3 air unit. I'm going to show you guys a couple different batteries that I'm going to use in my testing, but right now we have a RDQ 720 milliamp 4S, and that puts you at 254 grams. Here I have a 650, so this is technically a little bit smaller, but doesn't feel lighter. That puts it at 272 grams, and then this is a 750, this is a Beta FPV 750, 268 grams. So I think if you find a 600 milliamp 4S LiPo, you could definitely keep this thing under 250 grams if you want to. So the Cinelog30 V2 has some nice upgrades from the original. Inside, we now have an F722 flight controller with a 45 amp ESC. You guys probably can't really see it, but it is mounted to this top carbon fiber plate. Right underneath it, you have the O3 air unit, but the flight controller ESC all-in-one board is sitting right there. The original Cinelog30 had an F411 with a 35 amp ESC, so a nice upgrade to an F722 and 45 amps. The frame is definitely another upgrade and is a lot more simple and comparable to Beta FPV's Pavo series frames. The prop guards are made of plastic and it's one big piece. If you have to do any work on the drone, you can remove 4 screws on the bottom. You've got one here, 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 and here. Remove those 4 and then the entire thing will come apart. The only pieces that are connected to the prop guards is the O3 air unit, and then you have an LED strip that goes around the prop guards, and that is connected to a little plug right here. So you can just unplug that, unplug the O3 air unit, and you have it completely apart. In the back, we have a little antenna holder, and this is holding the Crossfire antenna as well as the O3 air unit antenna. And then right underneath that, we actually have another plastic piece that has a boot button and an external USB-C. So you do have easy USB access on this, even though the flight controller is completely enclosed. It's a separate little board coming back here, so you can easily plug this into the computer to do any tuning. And all that is hanging out back here with the XT30 pigtail. So this drone accepts up to 4S. Looking up at the front of the drone, we have a redesigned mounting setup for the FPV camera and a naked GoPro. On the original, you had one single dampen plate that held both cameras. Now you have 2 separate dampen mounts for the camera, one on top that holds the naked GoPro. So you can see these 4 grommets right here are attached to the upper side of the frame. And then the O3 air unit is on a separate little platform underneath. They do include this mount right here for the naked GoPro, but I didn't see one for a full-size GoPro. I kind of hope that they release one because I prefer to use full-size GoPro mounts. All of my naked GoPros, I have the mounts on the side here. This is a full-size GoPro mount, so that's kind of the mount that I use on everything. So the motors on this one are SpeedX2 1404 3850 kV motors, and then the props are Tri-Blade 76mm HQ props. So I tested this drone mainly chasing go-karts at supercharged, but I really want to adjust the rates on this a little bit so that I can use this thing for real estate FPV work. The thing flies awesome and is definitely staying in my backpack as just a backup drone, maybe even a primary drone. With some adjustments of the rates, this could very easily take the place of the QAV drones that I use every day. The thing's smooth. I love the fact that they have 2 separate dampening systems for the naked GoPro as well as the O3 air unit. That is something that I wish I had on the QAV. I don't think that there's any dampened mount available for this thing, but this GoPro is just hard mounted to this. I don't really have any issues with it just because the tune on it's smooth, but just having that extra dampening on the drone definitely helps when you're stabilizing footage. So the flight footage you're about to see is going to be a mix of O3 air unit and naked GoPro Hero 11 footage. We were having a social media day with Supercharged, so all of the GoPro footage is vertical, and then the O3 footage is going to be horizontal.